additional rest and should be set to take on his personal nemesis, the Seattle Mariners. The homestand is brief, but there's the entire weekend to see your Rangers. It's Friday night, and that means Texas Rangers baseball is on TXA 21. The skies indeed are glistening here above Rangers ballpark in Arlington. Rangers not home for long, but they will be pleased with whatever they can get right about now. And what they get is the Seattle Mariners in the first of 3 over this weekend. And welcome in, everyone, along with Tom Graves, Steve Busby. Glad to have you along. And yeah, it's not a long road, or homestand, I should say, but the Rangers are glad to get back off the road and do a little damage here at home. And they're going to try to get Yu Darvish on the right track now against these Seattle clubs.
Yeah, and without meaning any disrespect to Seattle, if you were to pick one team before last year that you might enjoy the most success against, you'd probably pick Seattle because they haven't been a very good offensive team. It's been just the opposite. Against the Mariners, he's had 5 starts, a losing record, an ERA almost twice of what it is against the rest of Major League Baseball. His last start in Seattle, he gave up 3 hits and 3 runs in the first inning, didn't give up another hit, retired the last 12. Hopefully today he'll pick up where he left off in Seattle.
Some things in baseball go without an explanation, and I think this matchup is one of them. But Yu Darvish tonight, hoping he can provide an answer in the positive for the Rangers. Well, something we didn't see on the road trip in Chicago, and that's a sunny sky over Rangers ballpark. And another one we didn't see, Lance Berkman. He's back in the lineup. Rangers and the Mariners coming up, game 1 of this weekend series, next on TXA 21. 2021 is sponsored by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your Texas Ford dealer and drive the best-selling trucks for 36 straight years. Ford is the best in Texas. By AT UVerse TV. And by TXU Energy. The right things right now. 1-866-CALL-TXU. A beautiful evening, albeit a little bit cool by Texas standards, and the low 60s as we get ready to get this ball game underway here tonight. Crowd of in the neighborhood of 36,000 expected for this Friday night contest, and folks appropriately with the long sleeve attire going. We can say that now, in about a month from now, we won't be seeing many long sleeves out here.
Now, you know, it's funny, Buzz. We complain when it's too cold. We complain when it's too hot.
That's right.
You know, we're a bunch of babies.
We're consistent.
We're whiners.
Now, Yu Darvish certainly not whining about anything. He's ready to go to work. And we'll take a look at the Seattle starting lineup that Yu Darvish will face here tonight. Eric Wedge, their skipper, in his third year at the helm of the Seattle Mariners. Andy Chavez, their old friend, leading off. He's the center fielder. Kyle Seager is at third base. Playing at first tonight and batting third, Kendrys Morales. Michael Morse is in right field. Justin Smoke will handle the DH chores. He bats fifth. Raul Ibanez is in left field. Kelly Shopping is the catcher. He bats seventh. Dustin Ackley bats eighth and plays second. And the number 9 man is Robert Andino, the shortstop.
And we'll check out the scouting report for Rangers pitcher Yu Darvish. 2-1, off to a good start this year, although I think he would say he hasn't thrown as well as he's capable of in his last couple of starts. 5 of the 6 runs he's given up have come in the first inning. That's something to watch. Against Seattle, as we mentioned in the open, a 6.21 ERA. That's unusual for him, a pitcher of his caliber, to have against any team. And Seattle, as we said, hasn't been one of the most successful offensive teams. So it's kind of unusual to see that kind of an ERA against the Seattle Mariners, who kind of had his number.
And oddly enough, it's been the first inning that has bothered him. That's something we'll talk about. Defense tonight behind Darvish, Murphy, Gentry, and Cruz left, center, and right. Jeff Baker, the start at first base. They have Kinsler and Andrews up the middle. Adrian Beltre at third. A.J. Pierzynski behind the plate. And the 26-year-old right-hander, Yu Darvish, is on the hill. Umpiring crew tonight. John Tumpain calling the balls and strikes. Eric Cooper at first. The crew chief, Angel Hernandez, is at second. And Doug Eddings over at third base. So ready to get underway. Andy Chavez, the former Ranger, will step in. And will lead things off against Yu Darvish, trying to win his third ball game of the year. Darvish had a pretty good win streak snapped last time that he faced the Mariners. Gave up 3 first-inning runs before settling down and working 5 more innings after that. He throws a strike to Chavez. Indy, you remember from the series just completed out in Seattle, joined the Mariners after Michael Saunders, their outstanding young outfielder, was hurt. Had a shoulder injury, a sprained shoulder, when he ran into the wall. And Andy Chavez, who had signed at the end of spring training with the Mariners, was called up and has filled in very nicely. That's fouled out of play to the left, and the count moves to a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, a few years back, Andy had a pretty good opportunity to play a lot for the Rangers. And for a good period of time, he was swinging the bat great. Kind of a slashing type hitter. Takes a big swing. He's not just trying to slap the ball on the ground. He's not a big guy, but he's trying to drive the ball. Hits to all fields. Misses that curveball, though.
Not much you can do with that one. Pierzynski will pick it up and fire to first.
Tough to hit that ball in left field.
That thing just disappeared, didn't it?
He gets a lot of strikeouts on pitches out of the strike zone, and I'm sure when the opposing team looks at the scouting report, looks at video, one thing they'll say is make them throw strikes, get the ball up. And that's good in theory, but it's easier said than done against a guy like that. Those breaking balls, when a guy's got a mid-90s fastball, it's just not that easy to lay off it. These guys are the best hitters in the world, and they take some silly swings against Yu Darvish.
So one away, and here's a guy who hasn't taken many silly swings against Darvish, and that is Kyle Seager. First pitch is high to him. 385, as you noted, the lifetime average for Seager against Darvish. And he is a hot hitter right now. A 7-game hitting streak going. He's leading the major leagues in doubles with 8 of them. Sorry, Tom.
I was just going to say, and he had the big hit against Darvish in the first inning in Seattle. He had that double off the glove of Mitch Moreland that drove in a couple of runs. One of his 8 doubles. He was way below 200 when the Rangers were in Seattle. He's sneaking up above 200, and he'll probably be right where he was last year, in the upper 200s, by the time the year's over. Pretty good, solid hitter.
1-1 pitch, and he pulled the string on the breaking ball, and it's 1-2.
It's fun to watch Darvish because you just kind of wait until the game unfolds to find out what his best pitch for that particular night's going to be.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's his cutter. Other times when he doesn't have his fastball, like he didn't in Seattle, he goes to a breaking ball of some sort. Early in this game anyway, it looks like he's got a pretty good curveball.
Ahead, a ball and 2 strikes to Seager. Check swing, and the ball in the dirt. The count is even at 2-2. Well, not only do you see different things on different nights from him, you see different things in back-to-back innings sometimes from Darvish. I mean, he'll change right in the middle of something. If one pitch isn't working for him, he'll go to something else. And he said the other day, talking about the last outing he had against Seattle, he didn't feel like he made the adjustments that he's capable of making as quickly as he should have. He said giving up 3 runs in the first inning was something that he felt he could have countered had he made the proper adjustments. That's a pretty lofty assessment of your ability to adjust, but that's how he thinks. That pitch in the dirt, so the count has gone full to Seager. Seager hitting in the number 2 slot. He'll be followed by the first baseman, Kendrys Morales. Just underway on a beautiful Friday evening here in Rangers ballpark in Arlington. Darvish with the payoff pitch. Got him swinging.
You can lay off it a couple of times, but sooner or later he's going to get you to swing at it. He just kept the ball down, kept it out of the strike zone. Eventually Seager swung at it. That was just a little bit higher than the 2 before it that he took, but still obviously not a strike.
Yeah, when you don't have any worry about throwing that on 3 and 2, you're going to get a lot of guys to swing at it.
As a hitter, you keep going, okay, curveball, curveball. He didn't get me to swing at it. He doesn't want to walk me. Now he's got to throw me the fastball. You keep falling back to that type of thought, and with him, it just don't get the fastball you're looking for.
Now, Morales got a fastball on the first pitch, but it was a bit low for ball 1. Kendrys Morales, just the 180 opposite of Kyle Seager and the success that he has had against Darvish. 1 for 15. Up the middle and into center field, a base hit. You know, Elvis was playing up the middle, but that ball just hit too sharply and 3 or 4 steps out of Elvis's reach.
It looked like, you was saying that he just didn't have his fastball in his last start, but he felt like in this start he'd make up for it. It looks like he's making up for it by just not throwing his fastball. He's just going to throw curveballs, cutters, and sliders. That one got up a little bit, and Darvish ripped it into center. And Morales ripped it into center off of Darvish.
So 2 outs, a man on first, and here's Michael Morse. Morse did not face Darvish in that outing in Seattle. He was hit. Michael Morse was hit the night before by a Tanner Shepard's fastball and fractured the pinky on his right hand. He missed 3 games. Back in there now. 6 home runs already for Morse, one of the guys, one of the veteran hitters brought in by the Mariners to shore up the offensive side of things. He looks at a strike to even the count.
And so when he's not throwing many fastballs, as soon as you say it, there's 2 fastballs. Even announcers can't guess along with him.
One thing we don't have to worry about though is swinging at that 3-2 slider.
Nope.
We don't have to worry about that.
I took them all the last game. I didn't swing at any of them.
2-1 as Darvish missed outside. A.J. Pierzynski handling the catching chores tonight. He has developed a pretty good rapport with all of the Rangers staff. We got a note on the staff too. There's been a change in things today too. 2-1 pitch. Yeah, the breaking ball is wide. It's 3 balls and a strike. News out today that Matt Harrison is going to have to undergo some back surgery and repair a herniated disc. And Ron Washington saying that Harrison will be out until at least the All-Star break. Dr. Drew Dossett over in Dallas is going to perform surgery next week on Matt Harrison. 3-1 pitch in the air down the right field line. That will slice and go out of play. It's 3-2.
We'll kind of keep our fingers crossed for Matt and his recovery, that it is shortly after the All-Star break, and in the meantime presents opportunity for other young pitchers, whether it's the opportunity for Nick Tepesh to stay here, Justin Grimm to get some starts, young pitchers to develop. Hopefully that'll work out well for them, and hopefully Matt will be back as soon as possible.
3-2. Morales will be off and moving. He's on the go, and the pitch is high, ball 4. Looked like a slider or cutter that missed up there. And now 2 are aboard with 2 outs for Justin Smoke. So back-to-back strikeouts to open things up. A 2-out single to Morales, and then Morris took a walk. That puts 2 aboard, and Justin Smoke, who has really hit the ball well in this ballpark, will step in. He has not had much success against Yu Darvish, as you can see, just 1 for 11. But he had 400 a year ago at Rangers ballpark. Smoke, of course, the switch hitter. Takes that big slow hook at 71 miles an hour. And that's strike 1. Seven out of 10 games Justin Smoke has hit safely in this park. 5 multi-hit games out of those 7. Rip and a miss. It is 0-2. Smoke currently on a 5-game hitting streak overall. 5 out of 18. He has Morales at second, Morris at first. 2 outs in the top of the first inning. The 0-2 pitch. Got him swinging. And down goes Smoke. Darvish strikes out the side while giving up a base hit and a walk. So 2 are left. A half inning in the books. The Mariners nothing. Strikes out the side despite giving up a hit and a walk. Here's the Rangers batting order tonight. Ian Kinsler leads off. Elvis Andrews follows. Lance Berkman back in the lineup. He is hitting third and DH. Adrian Beltre cleans things up. He's at third. The right fielder is Nelson Cruz. A.J. Brzezinski is behind the plate batting sixth. The first baseman tonight is Jeff Baker. David Murphy bats eighth and plays left. And the center fielder hitting ninth is Craig Gentry.
On the mound, Joe Saunders. He's had a good start to his season. One of those starts was his last start against the Rangers. 7 innings, 3 hits, and no earned runs. doesn't pitch quite as well with nobody on base, but get runners on base, and it's below 200. 6 career starts in this ballpark in the regular season have not gone well. 0 for 6, 9.38 is the ERA, but probably his most important game in this ballpark was the wild card game last year that he pitched for Baltimore, and he won that game 5-1. So he has pitched well in this park. His most recent start was a very good one. Rangers are due to light him up, though.
Ian Kinsler, who has lit him up, takes a strike. Look at those numbers against Saunders. 370 with 4 home runs for Ian. And Ian's swinging the bat pretty well right now. Takes one in the dirt. It's a ball and a strike. What you have to do is make sure Saunders is aware that it's April. It's not September or early October. This is the regular season, and you're in Rangers ballpark. So you got no chance.
Yep, that's the way it should be.
On the ground, knocked down by Andino, and Kinsler's going to be safe at first.
Well, that'll go as an error, but that was a hard hit ball. He hit that right on the sweet part of the bat. Too hot to handle.
Andino getting the start over probably the more sure-handed Brendan Ryan. And Kinsler testing him right away.
Not an easy play, but he's in front of it. Takes a little hop on him and caroms off the wrist of his glove, heel of his glove.
No, it is an error on Andino. For the Mariners, that's his 7th error that they have committed this year. They came into the game 5th in the American League in fielding, right behind the Rangers. A 1 on, nobody out. Here's Elvis. Saunders takes a little off that and gets the strike on the first pitch. Elvis at 224 in his last 7 ball games. Fallen off a bit, although the other night, Tuesday night in Chicago, he executed a great hit and run with Kinsler on first the way he is right now. The breaking ball in the dirt. It's a ball and a strike. That was the game the Rangers ended up winning 4-2. Of course, yesterday, a game that I don't think anybody believed they were going to get in, and looked at things at 10 o'clock in the morning. Rangers kind of slept walk through it. This is a base. Oh, it's not. Andino grabs it, goes to second for 1, and that's all they'll get. What a play, though, by Andino.
Well, he made up for the one that he booted. That one was hit equally as hard, closer to the hole. Looked like a sure base hit. And right when it looked like it was going to roll into left field, Andino stabbed it. Got the force out at second base. Makes a beautiful play.
And let's hope Elvis isn't back in one of his hit the ball hard and get nothing out of it.
Yeah, it makes you wonder.
Wow. So Elvis now at first with 1 out, and here's Lance Berkman. Haven't seen Lance at the plate with the exception of batting practice since the last game in Seattle. Did not play at all in Chicago. Takes a strike. It's 0-1. Weather up there just not conducive. Lance still, you remember, rehabbing his knee and getting that back into 100% shape. And Ron Washington said with the weather and being in the National League Park where no DH is available, that he'd rather just keep Lance on the bench. Berkman at 389 for the year, a home run, 8 driven in. Elvis at first, 4 stolen bases this year. And there's a little loop around into right field. Morse coming on. Ball hanging up for him, and Morse able to make the grab. Back to first is Elvis. There are 2 outs now, and Adrian Beltre coming up. Stolen base leaders, you see Jacoby Ellsbury leading the pack in the American League with 7. Jose Reyes, who's on the disabled list and looks like he will be out until at least the All-Star break, is next with 5, and then there's Elvis. Beltre at 232. Trying to get Elvis around. The first pitch to him. Like a straight changeup. Drifts in for strike 1. 7 of his last 8 games, Adrian has been on base by a hit or a walk. Hit by pitch. Hits this one well to right field. Morse started it. Now goes back a couple of steps and hauls it in. So that'll do it for the Rangers. No runs, no hits. 1 error and 1 left. On to the second we go. Rangers nothing, Mariners nothing. Joel?
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Here on a serious note tonight from Community Corner, the Rangers want to let the folks know in West Texas that the Rangers and Rangers fans have them in their thoughts and prayers tonight, and they're offering Rangers fans a way to help, and here's how. The Rangers are collecting donations at each entrance to the ballpark before each game this weekend, and folks down there need the most basic of items donated, but we're told cash and gift cards for food and clothing would be the most appreciated. There's also a blood drive Sunday here at the ballpark with Carter Blood Care. That's at Texas Rangers Hall of Fame. It's a chance for all of us to step up and let West know Rangers fans support West. Buzz?
All right, Joel, thank you very much. And certainly Tom and I pass our very best along to all the folks whose lives have been touched by that tragedy. And certainly our thoughts and our prayers are with the good folks down there in West Texas. Big, slow breaking ball that dips in at 68 miles an hour. It's 1-2 to Raul Ibanez. Ibanez leading things off. He'll be followed by Kelly Shopik and Dustin Ackley. Ibanez at 195 as Darvish comes back to him, and Ibanez just getting a piece of that to spoil it. Still 1-2. Ibanez, the 40-year-old veteran. See last week against the Rangers. 3 out of 15, and did have that 1 home run. Darvish a long look into Przinsky, and Ibanez has said that's about enough. Asked for time. Ibanez along with Morris and Bay and company, the guys brought in to see if they could rejuvenate the young Mariners. There's a pull line drive foul down the right side. We'll come back and try it again. Eric Wedge and company felt that, we get some guys in that have experience and maybe add a little pop to the middle of the order. Take the pressure off the younger guys in the lineup. Justin Smoke, Kyle Seager, and Ackley, and those folks. Montero. Let them come along a little more slowly. Got him swinging. Toss down to first, and that is strikeout number 4.
Ibanez got a couple of curveballs that were up, at least up enough to be strikes, but they were 66 miles an hour. They almost looked like changeups, and even though he made contact with them, he pulled them foul. And then finally, Darvish did what he did to the rest of the hitters. He kind of buries it out of the strike zone, and with 2 strikes, Ibanez couldn't lay off it.
The strikeout leaders in the American League, and right up there at the top of things with the 4 strikeouts tonight. Yu Darvish ahead of Scherzer and Verlander.
With 2 strikes this year, batters are 2 for 43 against Darvish. And the 2 hits came in Seattle in the first inning and led to the 3-run inning. Those are the only hits a hitter's got with 2 strikes against him this year. Other than that, they're 0 for 41.
That's kind of closing the door on a hitter once you get him down.
That says, boy, if you can get a good pitch to hit early in the count, you better hit it.
Fastball high and tight to Kelly Shoppach. Fort Worth native out of Baylor University. Shoppach doing a little more catching too. The same thing applies that does with the middle of the guys in the order, that Mariners want to give Jesus Montero a little extra time to develop behind the plate. So Shoppach, with his veteran wiles, helping that process along, and also playing in a little more frequently than maybe he'd even imagined coming over. A ball and 2 strikes. Darvish, as always, working from the stretch. Right-hander agrees with Pierzynski, and now he's set to work. Just missed low and outside at 96. That's a pretty good spread. You go from a 68-mile-an-hour curveball to a 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
Almost 30 miles an hour.
Everything in between, too.
And Shoppach's getting a chance to play quite a bit. And one of the reasons is it's a lot easier for the manager to pencil you into the lineup when you're off to a great start. He's hitting 380, so he's probably earning himself some time, too.
And that breaking ball is wide. Now the count has gone to 3-2 now to Shoppach. He's hitting in the 7th slot. He'll be followed by the second baseman, Dustin Ackley. Darvish now backing off the pitching rubber. Now he's back on and ready to go. As the sign he wants, the payoff pitch coming. Way outside, ball 4. No, second walk. Shoppach never even thought about offering at that one. 1-out walk this time, and now Dustin Ackley coming up. Yeah, you almost have to wonder, Tom, how long it's going to take for the scouting reports to get around to anybody down in the batting order at all. You're going to get a 3-2 breaking ball if you get that far. Pitch now, where guys just refuse to take a swing at it.
Yeah, it's pretty much the pattern, and I'm sure they get the same type of information in a scouting report. It's tough to implement it, I guess, when you're standing 60 feet 6 inches away from it.
Here's a breaking ball for a strike, and the count is 1-1 to Ackley.
I think a lot of hitters, most hitters, are probably afraid to look for a breaking ball anytime when you've got 2 strikes. Even if you feel like it's 90% chance you're going to get it, your mind is afraid of that other 10%. That if you do get a fastball, you have to look at it because there's no way you can swing at it. It's already by you.
Yeah.
But percentage-wise, it would make a lot of sense to do it that way. Look for a breaking ball.
Shoppach with about average speed at first. Candidate with these two to ground into a double play. Down the left field line, Murphy over at the railing, and it's back a couple of rows. No, it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, it's going to be a high pitch count for Darvish, no matter what happens now in this inning. He's already thrown 37 pitches. Certainly help himself if he got a double play, keep it under 40.
He threw 21 in the first inning.
And long at bats to Ibanez, Shoppach.
Right-handers ready, and the 2-2.
Well, he swung at the strikeout pitch, but he just got a piece of it. The same pitch has struck out several of the batters.
Now Ackley's staying alive. Ackley, along with the teammate Kyle Seager, products of North Carolina baseball. Went to University of North Carolina. Some of those great Tar Heel teams. That time called as Darvish and Pierzynski having a little trouble getting together on the sign. Darvish ready now for the 2-2. There's your 94-mile-an-hour fastball that Ackley just couldn't tune it up to catch.
You don't see many fastballs 2-2, 3-2. So if you're looking breaking ball and you see this, that's what's going to happen. It's going to be right by you at 94 miles an hour.
All the outs tonight have been recorded via the strikeout, 5 of them. And Robert Andino up now with 2 outs and shopping at first. Strike 1. Little cut fastball. First time that Andino has faced Darvish. Hitting just 154. We mentioned getting the start over Brendan Ryan. He looks at strike 2.
Andino's got to be saying, man, the guy's throwing 75% breaking balls and he throws 2 fastballs to me for strikes.
Can't catch a break. Andino hadn't caught many breaks the last 5 ball games that he's played in either. The 0-2 pitch. Call strike 3. 3 of them in a row, and that is 6 strikeouts for Darvish. 1 left. Bottom of the second coming up. Scoreless in Arlington on TV. Jim at 469-209-2121. If you read your text in the postgame show tonight, you'll win a $50 sporting goods gift card from Metro PCS. The text again is 469-209-2121. On we go to the bottom of inning number 2. Scoreless ball game. It'll be Cruz, Pierzynski, and Baker. And the off-speed pitch from Joe Saunders is in for strike 1. Nelly with his 2nd home run of the year in yesterday's ball game. Dead center field at Wrigley Field. He's had pretty good success, a couple of home runs against Saunders. Tried to time that slow hook and couldn't quite do it. It's 1-2. Saunders to the wind. And comes in low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Drews 6 RBI for the season. He just reaches out and it's a little pop-up on the right side. Ackley, the second baseman, makes the grab. That is out number 1.
Watching Saunders pitch these 2 games against the Rangers, you're talking about a guy that's got a great idea. He's a pitcher, boy. He can change speeds with the best of them. You just tell by how off balance so far in this game the Ranger hitters are. First 2 guys hit the ball hard, for sure. After that, he's kind of gone to his off-speed pitches a little bit more and had the Rangers out in front of him.
Yeah, and he's going right after the Ranger hitters, too. All 5 hitters that he's faced have seen a first pitch strike. And it's been with something other than the fastball on 4 of them.
Hey, he's only thrown 15 pitches.
Yeah, Brzezinski up there maybe looking for something other than a fastball, but got the fastball and was a little tardy with a swing.
Well, Jamie Moyer won a lot of games in his career, throwing 84 miles an hour with a changeup and a slow curveball.
That's on the outside corner of the knees.
Saunders a little bit harder than that. His fastball's in the upper 80s instead of the lower 80s. Still relies on a nice slow curveball and a good changeup.
A ball and 2 strikes to AJ. Saunders back to him. And that breaking ball is just a little short. Hit about 4 feet in front of home plate.
Saunders last year gave a 199 opponent's batting average to left-hand hitters for the whole season. So far this year, left-hand hitters are 1 for 14 against him. So he's been tough on left-hand hitters. Always has been.
Slowly hit grounder out to Ackley. Sidearm toss to first, and that's out number 2, and Jeff Baker will come up.
When Seattle traded Jason Vargas for Kendrys Morales, they wanted to replace him with a quality left-handed pitcher, and so they signed Saunders as a free agent. And he's a similar pitcher to Jason Vargas. Looks like the kind of guy that can win double digits for you and give you 200 innings. That's what Vargas was for several years here. They're pretty confident Saunders can be the same kind of guy.
There's a knee-high strike on a fastball to Jeff Baker. Baker an even 300. Last road trip had pretty extensive playing time. 3 for 8. Getting a start in Chicago and a start in Seattle on that trip. Also pinch hit a couple times. Now the 1-1 to him. 2-1. Baker, in the win the Rangers had over the Cubs on Tuesday night, had a couple of RBI as returned to Wrigley Field. It's this one to right center field. That's hit pretty well. Chavez going to the gap. Way back. Goodbye. Jeff Baker going to the opposite alley. A solo home run, and the Rangers lead 1-0.
Well, Jeff had the big spring, made the ball club. He's getting some big hits for the Rangers. Had a big double in the gap in left center field against the Cubs. And shoots that one into the bullpen in right center field. Big solid utility guy, boy. You want to play him every day, he'll produce for you. And he can play a number of different positions. And he got the one near the middle of the plate. Boy, he took advantage of it. Shows you the power he's got in right center field.
Yeah, there's no wind aiding that here tonight.
Well, you actually have to hit it 410 feet to get it out of there.
421 feet is the guesstimate of that drive off the bat of Baker.
I don't think hitters will complain with no wind. I think they'd rather have to supply exactly what it takes to hit a home run than to have them blown back at you.
Sure.
Even if you get a few extra ones with a jet stream, the ones that kill you are the ones you know you hit well enough and they get blown back.
Murphy slicing one toward the left field corner. In a hurry is Ibanez. He can't get it. Has to play on a hop. Murphy going for 2. Here's the throw. And sliding in safely with a 2-out double is David Murphy.
Just talking about Saunders and how well he throws to left-hand hitters. And David slices one into left field. David's due to get hot. David, always a slow starter for the most part in the month of April. That just means for the rest of the 5 months, he's going to be a 300 hitter. Banez knows David's going for second, but from way out there wasn't much he could do to stop him.
So Murphy with the double following Baker's home run, and now Craig Gentry will try to drive Murphy home. Gentry looking for his first RBI of the year, and he takes a strike on the inside corner. Craig at 227, as you see. And on base percentage, though, significantly higher up there, 346. Saunders a check of second. And the pitch in the dirt. Nice job by Shopping, keeping that ball out in front of home plate, or at least where he could keep an eye on Murphy and not let him advance. You don't stick around the way that Kelly Shopping has with different ball clubs and not be able to do those things if you're a catcher. You got to be able to throw, you got to be able to block balls, and Shopping is really good at both. Gentry trying to turn around that stat. That 2 for 15 is not what he envisions for himself right about now. Chopper out to second. Ackley sidearms to first, and that'll do it. But the Rangers on Jeff Baker's first home run in a Ranger uniform. They get 2 hits in the inning and strand one. On to the third inning. The Rangers 1, Mariners nothing on TXA 21. Out here to Rangers Ballpark. Enter Dr. Pepper as the coupon code at TexasRangers.com, or bring in any Dr. Pepper can to Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. You get $5 off select tickets for non-premier games in April, May, and June. It doesn't get much better than that. Young man and his dad making memories. Top of the third inning, top of the Mariner order to face Yu Darvish. And Andy Chavez watches that 67-mile-an-hour hook bend in the zone, and even Andy has to have a little wry smile about that one. Chavez struck out his first time. All of the outs recorded behind Darvish have been on the strikeout. A bunt down the third baseline, a good one. Darvish, off-balance throw, and he got him. Wow. What an athletic play by Yu Darvish to get a very speedy Andy Chavez.
Yeah, that looked like a bunt. It didn't look like Beltre was going to be able to get there in time, but he probably could have made the same play. But it's very rare you'll see a pitcher come off the mound and make that kind of play, especially a guy 6'4". But he pounces on it. Throws it off balance, almost like a shortstop would. Bare hands it. Nice play.
Well, I'll say, great body control. I think Endy thought it was a hit, too.
He just didn't want to strike out. Wanted to break the strikeout string.
And he did. That's the first non-strikeout out of the game.
What a play.
Wow. So 1 away on that outstanding defensive play. Here's Kyle Seager. Takes a strike on the inside corner. Seager went down swinging his first time to the plate. Hits this one well to left field. Murphy going back. He's at the track. It's going to be off the wall. Murphy will play the carom. Seager into second base. Takes a turn and hangs on there. And Kyle Seager continues his thunderous approach against Yu Darvish. And also his 9th double of the year. That's tops in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, well, we're waiting to get back to action. Couple of birthdays. Look at the replay. Fastball up and away that he drives off the left field wall. Good job of hitting by Seager. R.L. Lancaster from Wichita Falls is 90 years old today. And we missed a birthday in March. One of my longest running pen pals is Elizabeth Sullivan. She was 102 years old in March. Still has better penmanship than I do. Much smarter than I am, I might mention. So happy birthday, R.L. Lancaster.
Kendrys Morales drives one to center. Going back as Gentry reaches up and hauls it in.
And that catch is for both of you, R.L. Lancaster and Elizabeth Sullivan. Compliments of Craig Gentry. Happy birthday to Elizabeth and R.L.
Oh, an outstanding play by Gentry. Got a good read on that drive off Morales' bat. And just able to catch up with it before he hit the wall.
Yeah, that was getting into the dangerous territory right there. Looked like it might have been off the wall. Craig's got a pretty good feel, though, for where he is and a pretty good beat on the ball. And it certainly helps when you've got his speed. Just ran it down in center field.
Well, that is out number 2. And, boy, both the plays in this inning have been stellar defensive plays. One by Darvish and now one by Gentry. Sandwiched in between was the Kyle Seager double. He's at the bottom of your screen at second base. Here's Michael Morse. Morse walked his first time to the plate. And Pierzynski has to somehow flag that one down.
That wasn't easy.
Morse a walk back in the first inning. He was one of the few right-handed hitters that was able to lay off enough pitches to gather that walk. 1-0 the count as Darvish checks Seager. That pitch just a little bit low. It's 2-0. Morse, as we mentioned, those 6 games that covered that broken finger. It was a couple of games either side of that. Takes that breaking ball. It's 2-1. He started off extremely hot. And he has cooled off, you see, especially with runners in scoring position. He has not had a lot of success, just 154. Darvish with a 2-1. And that pitch just missed.
That would have been a strike yesterday in Chicago.
3 balls and 1 strike. If Morse is able to extend the inning, Justin Smoke will be next. Pierzynski with that series of signs with Seager, the runner at second. Now Moore's tired of waiting, so he asked for time. Now we're set to go. The 3-1. Got him on the fist. Beltre slings one sidearm over to first, and that'll do it. Pretty good pitch on 3-1 to get Morse. Side retired, no runs. The double by Seager left him stranded at second. On to the bottom of the third, 1-0 Texas on TXA 21. Is sponsored by SportsCityToyota.com. It's going toward a beautiful sunset here in North Texas. Rangers leading 1-0. Hits are even at 2. And as we head to the bottom of the third inning, it will be the top of the Ranger order. Ian Kinsler, Elvis Andrus, and Lance Berkman to face Joe Saunders. Kinsler on via an error his first time to the plate. He takes a fastball for strike one. Team high water marks in the home run and RBI. 5 home runs, 10 driven in for Ian. Not unusual for him to have the most home runs on the ball club in April. He is a notoriously fast starter in the long ball department. 1-1 pitch. 2-1. And on that just completed road trip, 7 for 20. 350 average. Couple of home runs. And he's ahead in the count here, 3 balls and a strike. So Ian trying to get aboard to start off the Ranger third. He'll be followed by the number 2 man, Elvis Andrus. Saunders back to the plate and hits the outside corner, a tailing fastball. So it sets up a 3-2 pitch. On the way. Chopper third base way is cut off by Seager. Out number 1. And with 1 out, bases empty. Let's go over and say hello to Joel Thomas again. Joel.
Well, Buzz, we were talking earlier about how much the fans here are thinking about the folks down in West. Well, it's not just the fans, it's the players and coaches, too. In fact, bullpen coach Andy Hawkins grew up in that area, and here's what he told us earlier.
It's a tragedy. A lot of folks are being affected by this, and there's just a lot of grief, and I don't know what to make of it, really. It's just a terrible thing, and people are coming together to help right now, and there are a lot of folks in West who need help right now, and so our prayers are with them, our thoughts are with them, and that's what all we can do right now.
And remember, you can help out here at the ballpark before each game this weekend. You're taking donations at every entrance, and there's a blood drive on Sunday showing that Rangers support West. Buzz?
Thanks, Joel. Yep. Whatever you folks can do, I know that the whole state would be proud of it, but folks in West really hurting right now, as Andy Hawkins told you. And whatever we can do is not nearly enough. 0-1 the count to Elvis. That will even things at a ball and a strike. Andrews on via a fielder's choice back in the first inning. Saunders back to him, misses inside. Now the 2-1 pitch. Another scorched ball that Andino flags down. That's twice now that Andino has just taken a hard hit ball off the bat of Elvis and turned it into an out.
Well, Elvis started to get some hits, but man, he's right back where he started from as far as hitting the ball on the good part of the bat and having nothing to show for it. One to his right, one to his left, and the result both times was an 0 for 0 for 2, and you can't hit the ball much harder than that.
Robert Andino, the shortstop, taking a pair away from him. So base is empty for Lance Berkman. 1 ball, no strikes. Lance, fly ball to shallow right field. His first time up there. Switch hitter up there from the right side takes a strike. It's 1-1. Changeup floats outside. 2 balls and a strike. Lance starting his 12th ball game in the 16 that the Rangers have played. Makes that low, and it's 3-1 now. Berkman way up in the count, trying to get aboard to extend this inning. Adrian Beltre, the Ranger cleanup man, is waiting in the on-deck circle, smacking himself on the helmet a couple times. Saunders 3-1 pitch. And the count will go full. Saunders has not walked a man tonight. He has had a couple of 3-ball counts that he's been able to work around. And he has one more here against Berkman. Payoff pitch coming. Outside, ball 4. Well, Lance very patient. And he draws that 2-out walk.
Yeah, one thing Saunders hasn't done is he hasn't thrown many pitches down the middle of the plate. Probably the closest thing that he came to throwing it down the middle of the plate was the one that Jeff Baker hit into the bullpen. But he lives on each side of the plate and mixing up his speeds. He's done a pretty good job of that so far.
Adrian 0 for 1 tonight. He lined to straightaway right field back in the first inning. Way inside. Beltre having a jackknife out of the way. 1 ball, no strikes. Saunders a check of first. And Beltre gets fisted and chops it foul toward the third base dugout of the Mariners. 1-1 the count. Ranger fans trying to attract the attention of Gary Pettis, who fielded that ground ball over there. Hard hit ball to the right side, off the glove of Ackley into right field. Berkman around second, will motor into third, and safely aboard at first is Beltre. And the Rangers with runners at the corners and 2 outs for Nelson Cruz.
The Rangers have hit some hard hit ground balls to the infielders, several of them to Andino, and that smash to Ackley was another one just a little bit too hot to handle. Could go as an error, but it was a well hit ball by Beltre. It's a smash right at him.
Yeah, they're going to give him a base hit on that.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I could too.
One hop smash that looks easy in slow motion replay, but that was kind of stick your glove up and hope you catch it.
And keep your teeth out of the way.
Yeah, for sure. That's one where you hear the Little League coach say, get in front of that ball. Not that one.
No thanks.
Unless you want to kind of lose interest in playing baseball anymore.
Nelly Cruz, a big rip and a miss. He's down on the count 0-1. Cruz a pop out to the second baseman Ackley. He led off the second inning. Runners at first and third with 2 outs here in the third. Rangers leading 1-0, trying to expand that advantage. A little nubber off the end of the bat, and Saunders will make it an easy play to first. So that'll do it. The Rangers can't do anything. They strand a pair on a walk and a base hit. We're going to the fourth. Rangers 1, Mariners nothing on TXA 21. The AT trivia question for tonight. On this date in 1996, Rangers defeated the Orioles 26-7. Who was the only Ranger with an at-bat that night to not get a hit? I used to know that one, and I'll have to bring that up on the memory banks. Justin Smoke leading things off, and Darvish pours in strike one.
Smoke saw all curveballs to strike out 3 in a row, as a matter of fact, to strike out the first time up. Wasn't quite ready for that one. Oh, there it is again.
Just to make sure that he hadn't forgotten.
Should have hit that first one.
0-2 the count to Smoke. And folks, believe me, we're not making fun of any of the hitters against Darvish. I mean, it just, sometimes he does that without even batting an eyelash. That breaking ball is a bit low.
Justin did the right thing there, and that's take it.
Yep. Now, Darvish's ability to throw, as we said, anywhere from tonight 96 miles an hour down to 67 miles an hour, and then variations of movement, just the combination of difference in speed and varying movements and location is just sometimes silly. It's almost like a video game. Darvish last inning only needed 10 pitches to get through the third. The 2-2 pitch. And that is just nub foul out in front of home plate. Off the catcher Pierzynski, and we'll try it again at 2 balls, 2 strikes. As Ranger fans remember, Justin Smoke, a switch hitter who probably has more power from the left side. And the 2-2. And runs the count full. Well, Smoke trying to get aboard to start the 4th inning here in this 1-run ball game. He'll be followed by Raul Ibanez. Darvish with a payoff pitch. Inside, ball 4. Smoke able to take that breaking ball, and he draws the leadoff walk. And before Raul Ibanez comes up, let's go back over to Joel Thomas. Joel?
Hey, thanks, Buzz. You've probably seen some of those great new Rangers commercials that have been on the air with fans in them. Well, that came from a contest where they asked fans, how do you help the team? Well, now's your chance to get on TV again because there's another contest. You go to Twitter @Rangers and submit your ideas for a commercial to #RangersTV. If your idea is chosen, not only will a commercial be made about your idea, you'll get a free Rangers t-shirt. All the details are at Twitter on @Rangers. And I'm sure we'll get some creative ideas, Buzz.
No doubt, Joel. All right. A strike is poured through there to Raul Ibanez. Ibanez, a strikeout as he started off the Mariners' second inning. Mariners with Smoke at first. The first time they have had their leadoff man aboard tonight. Double play ground ball to Elvis. He goes to the bag himself. On to first. Thank you very much. 6-3 double play. And that erases the leadoff walk.
A big pitch for you right there. After the leadoff walk, pitch counts a little bit up there. 1 pitch, 2 outs. Had a quick 10-pitch third. Throws that, looked like maybe a 2-seam fastball, splitter maybe, something tailing away. Ibanez hit it off the end of the bat, little dribbler. Right to Elvis, who takes it himself, makes a simple double play.
Well, the Rangers turning their 10th double play of the year. Now Kelly Shoppach up there with the bases empty. He takes strike 1. Shoppach drew a walk back in the second inning. Mariners with a couple of base hits and 3 walks tonight. Darvish able to work through so far unscathed. Misses high there. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Shoppach taking his time getting back in the batter's box. Darvish ready. The 1-1 pitch. 1-2. You remember last year Kelly Shoppach splitting his time between the Red Sox and the Mets. Hit 250 in Boston, just 203 with New York. Now getting a chance in Seattle to see more playing time. 2-2. See A.J. Brzezinski trying to pump up Darvish, and he gets the swinging strike 3. Hanging slider that hung up too much for Shoppach. 7 strikeouts for Darvish. We have finished 3.5. It's the Rangers 1. The game, by the way, postponed tonight because of the tragedy going on up there and everything surrounding it. Fans all over Major League Baseball having Sweet Caroline played in tribute to the Boston fans, saying, we're all with you.
Yeah, when you hear that song, you think of two things: Neil Diamond and the Boston Red Sox.
That's right. A.J. Pierzynski starting off. He chops the pitch foul, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Pierzynski, Baker, and Murphy here in the Ranger 4th inning. A.J. a ground ball to second, back in the 2nd inning. Saunders back to the plate. Fly ball, shallow left center field. In a hurry is Endy Chavez. He's able to run her down with a pretty good burst of speed. Now 1 away as Jeff Baker comes up. Let's take a look at the AT&T trivia question that we asked, and we'll answer that for you. The question: back in this day in 1996, Rangers defeated the Orioles 26-7. Only one player with the Rangers had an at-bat and did not get a hit that night. Who was it? Mickey Tettleton. He had 3 walks, scored 3 runs, drove in 2, and he was 0 for 2.
He had the worst night of the night.
26-7. There had to be some personal stats pretty well pumped up in that ball game.
Wasn't that the day Manny Alexander hit the grand slam? No, someone hit a grand slam off of Manny Alexander. That's right. Came in to pitch.
Baker, a towering fly ball. This one to shallow left center. Ibanez and Chavez. It's Raul Ibanez making the call and the catch. So home run Baker is out. 1 out of 2. And now David Murphy will come up.
Eric Josephson reminds me it was Kevin Elster that hit the grand slam off Manny Alexander. He's playing shortstop for the Orioles.
Murph doubled to left field right after Baker's home run in the 2nd inning. And David now with that average back on the rise at 167. Takes a strike to even the count at 1-1. See, Murph has enjoyed, for the most part, hitting against the Mariners. He finds himself down in a 1 ball 2 strike hole here to Joe Saunders. Left-hander comes back to the plate. And Murphy takes the off-speed pitch that's in the dirt. 2-2. Saunders to the wind. And Murph takes it up and in. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Murphy with 2 outs trying to get aboard again. He was on a board in the 2nd with 2 outs. Craig Gentry is waiting in the on-deck circle. Should Murphy extend the inning. Line drive, base hit to left field.
Well, that's a good sign. David's got a slicing double to left field, a hard hit line drive to left field for a base hit against a tough left-hander.
That's all he needed to see was a left-hander, the way he hit him last year.
Yeah, maybe that helps you stay in there and try to drive the ball back through the middle. Got a pitch up and did a nice job of lining that ball into left field. That's got to feel good for David to get off to that kind of a start tonight.
Well, the 4th hit of the night for the Rangers. And here's Craig Gentry, who grounded out to second in the 2nd. Goes after the first pitch and pops it back into the seats on the first base side. It is 0-1. See Greg down to 217 now. Murphy a modest lead at first, and Saunders will go that way with a toss to Morales. Dave Anderson, stopwatch in hand, checking the times of pitchers, their moves, and how long it takes the catcher to get rid of the ball. Here's a drive to right center field. That's falling in a hurry. It's going to be down for a base hit. Gentry going for two. The throw not in time. Murphy all the way to third, and this ball gets away. But Murph having to stay at third base. Well, Greg Gentry right out of the box was thinking double the entire time.
Well, last inning it was two up, two down, and then a home run and a double with 2 outs. Saunders able to get the first 2 outs here in the fourth. Line drive single by David. Craig dumps one into right center field. That's a single for most of us. It's an easy double for Gentry. Now you got a chance for Ian to drive one into the outfield, pick up a couple of runs right here.
Right about there when he hit the bag, the afterburner kicked in. No, 2 outs, back-to-back hits, and here's Ian, who has reached on an error and grounded out to third base. 0 for 2 tonight. Saunders from the windup, and he throws strike 1. Ian, as we mentioned, the team leader with 10 RBI. Opportunity here for a couple more. Saunders 0-1 pitch. That will even things up. Gentry, the lead from second at the bottom of your screen. Murphy over at third. And Shopping again, having to go down to both knees to block that ball. It's 2-1. Off to a great start, Ian Kinsler is, with runners in scoring position. 5 out of 12. Check swing, it's a strike anyway.
Good pitch. Not a good pitch to hit.
2-2.
And the inside corner.
Saunders winds, and the pitch to Ian, low and inside, and Shopping, Ian having to scramble around a bit behind home plate. So the count has gone full. First base open. Kinsler might think of something other than a fastball, but got runners at second and third. If he prolongs the inning, Elvis Andrus is waiting in the wings.
Well, he's got first base open, but Elvis has hit the ball hard twice against him. So if he does walk in, you've got a good guy coming up.
Payoff pitch, little roller out to second. And Ackland on to first. That will do it. Now the Rangers get a couple of 2-out hits, but strand 2. We're going to the 5th inning in Arlington. Rangers 1, Mariners nothing on TXA 21. By Standard Insurance. Call 1-800-929-2424. Well, a very comfortable evening out here at Rangers ballpark in Arlington. Rangers leading 1-0. We head to the top of the 5th inning. Dustin Ackley starting things off. He's the number 8 hitter in the order. And the first pitch from Yu Darvish all the way to the backstop. It is 1-0. Ackley a strikeout back in the 2nd inning. Darvish has 7 strikeouts tonight. Right-hander's 1-0 pitch. Drops a breaking ball in there. It is 1-1. Up the middle, Elvis, a 360 and a strike to first.
That one looked simple. Wasn't that simple, though. Ackley hit that ball pretty well. I thought it was right straight up the middle for a base hit. Quick first step by Elvis. He gets to it pretty easily. But then the hard part, to spin all the way around, doesn't look hard. And then the accurate throw, off balance to first base, right on the money.
You think he's done that a time or two before?
He must have been able to do that. Guess we've probably seen him do that a few times, too. Perfect throw.
Wow. So 1 out. Here is Robert Andino on the first pitch. Off speed and well inside. Elvis and Ranger fans can count on seeing that around here for at least the next 7 or 8 years, if not more. Pretty impressive young man. Andino called out on strikes back in the 2nd inning. Wave and a miss. It's 1-1.
Poor Andino. He doesn't know what to look for. First time up after all the breaking balls that Darvish threw. He threw him 3 straight fastballs. He took all 3 of them for strikeout. Andino had a couple of big hits off Justin Verlander yesterday. Mariners beat Verlander.
Yeah, shut him out 2-0. Two and 1 the count to Andino. And that pitch all the way to the backstop. The count goes 3-1. Andino batting in the number 9 position. He's trying to get aboard in front of the top of the order, and that means Endy Chavez. Darvish trying to come back from being down on the count 3-1. Fires a strike. That fills things out. Now Darvish with a payoff pitch. And just able to get a piece of that off-speed delivery. We'll come back and try it again. Brzezinski going through the series, or going through the signs, wants the slider. 3-2. Got him swinging. Throw it like that. That's pretty safe to throw about every pitch if you want to. 8 strikeouts for Yu Darvish. And our Ford leaderboard tonight. Get you up on the league leaders. Opponent's batting average. Matt Moore, 133. My goodness. There's Yu Darvish at 149. That's a pretty impressive group.
Yeah, Seattle's been getting pretty good starting pitching. Hisashi Iwakuma is off to a real good start. He pitched 6 shutout innings against the Tigers yesterday. Pitched a great game against the Rangers as well. Of course, they've got Felix Hernandez. Joe Saunders is off to a nice start. So they've got 3 veteran starters that are throwing the ball pretty well for them right now.
Just added a Aaron Harang to the starting rotation.
Mauer's kind of a wild card because he's young and his numbers don't look that good, but he pitched against the Rangers and threw the ball great.
Yeah.
He's throwing mid-90s, a good sinker. So they have the makings of pretty good rotation. They've always had pretty good rotation. They haven't been able to score runs, and so far this year they haven't been able to score runs either.
1-1 pitch hangs outside to Chavez. Well, we're going to see Brandon Maurer tomorrow. He's going to match up against Nick Tepish. It'll be a 7 o'clock start, and then on Sunday afternoon, a 2 o'clock game, Justin Grimm will take on Aaron Harang. The finale of this 3-game weekend series. 2-1. Hit pretty well to center. That chases Gentry back. Still going back and reaches up near the warning track and makes the grab. A 1-2-3 inning for Yu Darvish and the Rangers. Halfway through the ball game, it's the Rangers 1, the Mariners nothing on TXA. Sponsored by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your Texas Ford dealer and drive the best-selling trucks for 36 straight years. Ford is the best in Texas. Well, happy 8th birthday, young lady. And you are seeing you tonight. And a pretty good Yu Darvish tonight.
A lot of them, too.
Yep. You and the Rangers leading 1-0. Elvis Andrus starting things off in the bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be Andrus, Berkman, and Beltre. Rangers a run on 5 hits. And Saunders tails one off the outside corner. 2-0. Elvis, as Tom told you last inning, has pounded the ball a couple of times. Up the middle, and boy, right there, another one.
If he hits it hard, it's at somebody. That ball looks like it's headed right straight up the middle, and the pitcher caught it. If those balls are just hit 2 or 3 feet one way or the other, Elvis is 3 for 3, feeling great with 3 hard hit ground balls. Instead, he's got 3 hard hit ground balls, and he's 0 for 3. Saunders, I guess just for the sake of protection, caught that ball. Yeah. But boy, he just can't catch a break.
No. You know, the guys, when they make that right-hand turn at first base after they've made an out, they'll look up at the board to see their batting, and Elvis is going to have to stop looking up there. That's just adding insult to injury. Lance Berkman has walked and flied to right. That's up the middle. And
same thing, only that one got through.
Saunders will not catch that one.
Might have been hit a little bit harder.
Well, Lance Berkman, 1 out of 2. He's had a 1-out single, and that'll bring up Adrian Beltre.
Yeah, he was hit on the other side of him, too, so he never could get his glove on that one.
That had a shin written all over it. That was low enough. This one that hits your leg and just stops dead, and you know it's going to hurt. Just waiting for the ouch to set in.
Yell ouch before it hits you.
That's right. Here's Beltre, who's 1 for 2.
And a lot of hitters yell ow before they get hit in the ribs too. They see it coming. No way they can get out of the way, and they know it's going to hurt.
Yep. Berkman a modest lead at first. Saunders back to the plate, and Beltre down to one knee and fouls it off to the right. 0-2 the count. Rangers tonight with runners on base, 2 out of 8. Not a whole lot of offense by either team. They've got Berkman at first after hit number 6 for the ball club. Saunders will check first and come to the plate. In tight, and Adrian straightening up, getting out of the way of that pitch. Last 7 ball games, you can see Rangers have not been able to score more than 4. That's not the kind of streak you're going to be in offensively. Anyway, hitting 200 as a team, and for the season now, down in the lower half of the American League. They're at 9th at 246 coming into play here tonight. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Beltre. And low and inside, 3-2. With Beltre out there, we'll see if Ron Washington elects to start the runner. Lance Berkman at first base with 1 out. You got Nelson Cruz waiting in the on deck circle, hoping for an opportunity here in the 5th to do some damage. Berkman on the move. The pitch is fouled away. Lance will retrace his steps and we'll start all over again. Beltre back in the batter's box. Berkman establishing that a little bit larger than modest lead. And Saunders checks him. Inside, ball 4. And that will put 2 aboard for Nelly Cruz with 1 out.
Well, the Rangers have had a little something going the last several innings, but every time it's been with 2 outs. This time they get a little something going with 1 out. Nelly's had an opportunity in the 3rd inning with men on 1st and 3rd and 2 outs. Second walk for Saunders to go along with no strikeouts in the game.
Now we'll see if Nelly can cash in some teammates. Pop out and ground out. Saunders' first pitch. Line drive, base hit to left field. Ibanez coming up with the ball. Berkman is stopped at 3rd as the throw comes in all the way in the air. Yeah, Gary Pettis had that stop sign up immediately. Berkman not even thinking about trying to score. That ball hit so sharply to left field.
Yeah, once Ibanez caught it, there was no way. That was the hardest hit ball of the night right there. Nelly put the good part of the bat on a beautiful swing with that line shot. And a good pitch to hit, and man, he just killed that ball. Unfortunately, it was right straight at Ibanez. A few feet either way, it'll roll all the way to the wall. It almost caused Ibanez to trip on the way in, but he holds his balance nicely. Gary's got the stop sign up all the way. Ibanez gets it in pretty quickly.
No, the base is full. Here's A.J. Pierzynski with 1 out. Rip at that first Saunders fastball. It's 0-1.
Saunders doing a nice job of running that sinker in on the fists.
AJ 0 for 2 tonight. A ground out and a fly out. Facing a tough left-hander in Joe Saunders. Matchup of veterans here. And now Shopping, another veteran, going to go out and have a chat with Saunders. AJ kind of fell off on the road trip a little bit. Went 4 for 18, so he's just 4 for his last 20 times to the plate. Yeah, good time to break out of that. The 0-1 pitch. Loop to left field. It's fallen in a hurry. A base hit. Beltre scores. Right behind Berkman, Beltre comes in to score. A 2-run single. The Rangers lead 3-0.
Oh, there's that big hit. With men in scoring position, you're looking for it. Give a little bit of breathing room. Rangers got a nice little rally going. Nelly hit the ball so hard he couldn't score the man from second base. AJ took care of that, though. He sliced a soft little single over shortstop into left field. Again, against a tough lefty. Left-hand hitters hit below 200 against Saunders last year. But in this game, David Murphy has a single and a double. And now AJ has a base hit with the bases loaded to drive in 2 big runs for the Rangers, and hopefully the rally continues. Beltre gets a great jump. He knows this ball's in the minutes it's hit. Gary's waving him around all the way, and Ibanez on that slowly hit ball didn't have a play at the plate. Remember, we told you a couple of games ago the Rangers were the only team in baseball that hadn't had a 4-run inning yet this season. It's coming sooner or later. Maybe this will be it.
Pitching coach Carl Willis out to have a talk with his beleaguered batter and AJ Pierzynski. Having a little chat down at first base with Eric Cooper, first base umpire. So the Rangers pushed across a couple here in the 5th inning, and they're looking for more. Still just 1 out. And Jeff Baker is at the plate. Baker is homered and flying to left field. 1 ball, no strikes. Cruz at second, Pierzynski at first. Each of them have single. And that pitch off the outside corner. And the TXU, the right things right now replay. This goes back to the 2nd inning, and Jeff Baker, his first home run in a Ranger uniform, deep into the bullpen in right center. That got the Rangers going tonight. And he takes that pitch in the dirt. TXU energy, the right things right now. Three balls, no strikes. Baker waiting, Cruz at the bottom of your screen. The lead from second. Pierzynski stepping off a lead at first. 3-0 pitch is low and outside. Ball 4. That will load him up for David Murphy.
He was pitching carefully right there to Baker for sure. And now he brings up David Murphy. Generally, you'd say Saunders is in pretty good shape right here with a left-hand hitter coming up. But this time he's coming up against a left-hand hitter who's got 2 line drives against him for 2 base hits so far.
Hector Noesi, who just rejoined the Mariners at the big league level, is loosening up in the bullpen. Now the base is full of Rangers. Murphy has doubled and singled going the other way. And the breaking ball is wide. It's 1-0.
Saunders has thrown 89 pitches, 49 of them for strikes, 40 of them for balls. The Rangers have actually been pretty patient. They haven't swung at a lot of pitches out of the strike zone. They've hit a lot of balls hard that have been caught in this game.
And ball 2 misses.
Now what do you do? I'll throw a strike right here.
And if you're Saunders, where do you throw it? Murphy's taken you the other way twice. And 2 balls that you have thrown in this inning inside of the left-handers have been hit hard. You really might not have anywhere to go. The 2-0 pitch. Chopper pulled to the right side. The only play they're going to have is at first. Morales underhanding to Saunders covering. Murphy is out, but the Rangers score as Nelson Cruz crosses home plate. And the Rangers take a 4-0 lead.
Yeah, except for the fact that it cost David an at-bat. Pretty much the same thing as a 380-foot sacrifice fly. Going to pick up a run right there.
Well, 3 runs across in the inning. Murphy getting the RBI. That's his 5th of the season. Now runners at second and third, 2 outs, and Craig Gentry, who doubled his last time up. And he takes a strike at the knees. Gentry grounded out to second, back in the second. And in the fourth with the 2 outs, a little looping double into right center field. Saunders winds, and the pitch is fouled away. It is no balls and 2 strikes. Ray Gentry still trying to get his first RBI of the year. The 0-2 coming. This inning started with Lance Berkman's single, a walk to Beltre. Single to Cruz, loaded the bases, and then A.J. Pierzynski. A 2-run single, a walk to Baker, the RBI ground out to Murphy. And a line drive, base hit left center field. 1 run is home. Here comes Baker all the way in, and he's got the Jets on. He's going to be held at third. Gentry, who has 1 inside the park home run in this ballpark, was thinking about circling the bases again, but the Mariners able to recover in time to hold him to 3.
Well, there's finally that big inning. Rangers are now not the only team that hasn't had a 4-run inning. They've got a 5-run inning going right here. Craig really hit a shot right here. Ibanez is going to go after it. He's going to fall, and the ball's going to go right over his head. I thought at that point, Buzz, it was going to be an inside the Parker, but look at Chavez come into the picture, and whoops, and keep it a triple, but a 2-run triple. Hard hit ball by Gentry.
Ibanez got to be wondering who iced the outfield down over there. He's going to have twice now at bat footing.
Yeah, and that wasn't a triple because Craig didn't bust it out of the box. He was going hard all the way, but Chavez came over and got it in quickly.
No, 5 across. Rangers still batting here in the 5th, and Joe Saunders is out. Pitching change underway. We will take a timeout. Be right back after this on TXA. Well, again, we'd like to remind you folks that Rangers are doing what they can to help support the folks down in West Texas relief initiatives. Residents of West Texas, the beneficiaries. This weekend, fans can donate gift cards or cash from 2 hours before the game time to 30 minutes after first pitch. Tomorrow and Sunday, Carter Blood Care will hold a blood drive out here on Sunday also. So please give what you can to support the folks in West Texas. Hector Noesi, right-hander, is on the hill now, and he misses outside to Ian Kinsler for ball one. Look at Hector Noesi's numbers, his third season. Part of that trade with the Yankees. Brought Jesus Montero along with Noesi to Seattle in exchange for Michael Pineda.
Yeah, they thought Noesi would be able to take Pineda's spot in the rotation. Maybe not be quite the same pitcher, but he wasn't able to do that. Pineda was hurt right off the bat. He hasn't pitched for the Yankees.
And Kinsler takes low. It's 3 balls and no strikes. So Ian trying to continue this inning. He is the 9th hitter to come to the plate. Elvis Andrus, who began all this, is waiting in the on-deck circle. Rangers have pushed across 5 in the inning. They lead 6-0. 3-0 pitch. That's on the outer part of the plate. Noesi, a 26-year-old out of the Dominican Republic, facing Ian Kinsler. Noesi at 6'3", about 205 pounds. Pulled foul outside third, and the count has gone full. Joe Saunders, 4 2/3 innings, 9 hits, 3 walks, no strikeouts tonight.
He's been with shades on.
Now the payoff pitch coming from Noesi. Line drive, base hit down the left field line, headed to the corner. In to score is Gentry. Kinsler into second and will put the brakes on after he rounds the bag, and he has an RBI double. It is 7-0 Texas.
Rangers have hit some ropes in this game. Not only the hits they've had 9 or 10 hits. Most of them have been hit hard, but there's been 4 or 5 outs that have been hit hard as well. So getting a decent night to play and coming back home, making a big difference for the offense. Unless he throws a fastball pretty much in the middle of the plate, Ian just jumps all over it. Another hard hit ball.
Well, that closes the book on Joe Saunders. 7 runs, all of them earned, go on his ledger tonight. And there's a line drive caught again and dropped. And Dino able to recover and throw out Elvis. And you probably don't want to know what Elvis is saying to himself right about now. It's not for family programs. Rangers are gone, but they come up with 6 runs. A.J. Brzezinski, a big single, will go to the 6th inning as you watch Craig Gentry finish it off with a triple. 7-0 Texas on TXA 21. 30,000 fans. And the tradition continues on April 30th, Coca-Cola Picnic Blanket Night. Texas hosts the Chicago White Sox for a 7:05 game. Reserve your seats now at TexasRangers.com. Well, the biggest output of the year as far as an inning is concerned, 6 runs tonight. Rangers driving across in the 5th inning, and it ties the most runs they've scored in a game this year. They lead 7-0, and Yu Darvish going to work here in the 6th. Kyle Seager to start things off. Seager 1 for 2. Continues his hot hitting against Yu Darvish. Had a double off the wall in the 3rd inning. Off speed, that finds the outside corner. And the count moves to 1-1.
What do you think that pitch was? 86 miles an hour.
I think that was a splitter.
Splitter?
Yeah, it looked like it had a little bit of movement to it. That's a big slow curveball.
Dipsy doodle. There's the one before it.
I don't know.
It looked like a fastball, but it was 86 miles an hour.
Yeah. Then there's that thing. Seager looked at it like it was an alien. And it could very well be to a hitter, too. Now time called. We'll reset. One ball, 2 strikes. Up the middle. That's where Elvis is stationed. Out number 1. And as Kendrys Morales comes up, let's say hello to Joel Thomas again. Joel?
Hey, thanks, Buzz. Everybody knows that the hottest meals are on wheels with food trucks these days, and the Rangers are cashing in. Joining me is Sean Decker, Director of Sales and Operations of Rangers Enterprises. A mouthful of a title, but Rangers fans are getting a mouthful of good food coming up next weekend. Tell us about it.
That's right. Yeah, next Friday and Saturday, we expect to have 35-plus trucks, both on Friday and Saturday, from all over the state of Texas coming in for the event. We're excited to partner with U.S. Food Trucks and Experience Arlington, and can't wait to have everybody out.
A lot of food trucks. What's the admission, and what do you need to be there?
Absolutely. It's $5 for children, $10 for adults. We'll also do a weekend pass for $12 for both days all in, and you can get all your information at TexasRangers.com/food truck.
All right, that's all you need to know for some good food, Buzz.
All right, Joel, thank you. Kendrys Morales takes outside. That evens the count. And a ball and a strike. Well, the crowd livening up here as Rangers bats came to life. Morales, a ground ball the other way, right into the overship. Adrian Beltre.
He's got the whole left side of the infield to shoot at. He hits a hard ground ball, and it's right straight at Beltre. That's either bad. Well, I guess it is bad luck to a certain degree, but it's also pretty good defensive placement.
Yeah, and it's also bad luck anytime you hit the ball at Beltre anyway.
Well, you're going to be out for sure.
Yeah.
But that was a hard hit ball, and pretty much anywhere else you got a base hit.
Well, 2 ground balls, 2 outs here in the 6th. That brings up Michael Morse. Morse has walked and grounded to Beltre. Darvish had a very high pitch count early as that pitch is fouled into the club level down the right field line.
No, I don't think I've seen a player over 2 weeks hit the ball harder with nothing to show for it than Elvis has. No, we say that about a lot of hitters for a couple of games.
Yeah.
It really has been all season long on a regular basis, almost every game for him.
I agree with you. There's that slow breaking ball that it's dropping in velocity as we go along. Down to 65.
The one guy that I think of that, and you probably saw him just like I did, that hit the ball hard for a whole season and got his base hits, but also hit more line drives for outs, especially the right center field, was Julio Franco.
Yeah. There's that guy Beltre again. 3 ground balls, 3 outs, and the Mariners are down in order. That is 8 straight now set down by Yu Darvish. 5.5 in the book. Brought to you by Sonic. Tonight's jackpot is worth $1,300 and dinner for two at Sonic Drive-In. Tonight, the Rangers are hitting for J.B. Hernandez from Plano. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam during this inning, J.B. Hernandez from Plano is going to win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. Now, JB, sit back and relax and enjoy this because you got the right guys up. You got Berkman, Beltre, and Cruz against Hector Noesi. And a fastball poured right through there by Noesi. Berkman 1 for 2 tonight. He has been aboard a couple of times, singled and walked. He has also scored a run this evening. Rangers 7 runs on 10 hits. There's a knee-high strike. It's 0-2. Well, it's been a while time since we've seen this ball club get into double figures and hits and really look like they were putting things together tonight.
Yeah, it's been a good night for the offense. A lot of balls hit on the good part of the bat tonight. You look at the scoreboard, it's 10 hits. Most of them hit hard. Really doesn't tell the whole story about how hard they've hit the ball, because Elvis has 4 balls that have been hit hard, and he doesn't have any hits. Been a couple of other ones, too.
One ball and 2 strikes. Now time called as Noesi couldn't get together with Kelly Shopik. Elvis, Leori Garcia on that bench, and Elvis is saying, well, maybe if I try this, I'll get a base hit. Garcia telling him, no, you stick with what you're doing. It'll be okay.
Well, I think that's the key when you're in a little bit of a streak like that, is don't change anything. Just keep hitting the ball on the good part of the bat. Eventually, they got to start finding a hole.
Said, no, I got to try something different. This is not good. Berkman, a swing and a miss. And that is strikeout number 1.
Well, you really can't go up there and try to hit it off the end of the bat or try to get jammed to get a cheap hit. It's got to happen by mistake.
Here's Beltre. He has also singled and walked and scored a run this evening. Takes a strike. Beltre walked right after Berkman had the 1-out single in the 5th inning that started that Ranger uprising. Now time called. Noesi taking a little too long for Beltre's liking. Skied on the right side. Morales at the edge of the seats. And that ball bounding back out of play. Well, the count moves to 0-2. Well, Noesi came on in the 5th inning and faced Ian Kinsler, who promptly doubled to left field. He got Andrews to ground out and then struck out Berkman to start this inning. And it looks like a different pitcher. He's come in throwing strikes. 2-hopper out to short. Andino on to first. That is out number 2. Now Noesi will face Nelson Cruz. Cruz 1 for 3, a single and a run scored in the 5th inning. He looks at strike 1. Nelly with that base hit now, right back up at an even 300 as of this at bat. Just missed that one. A towering fly ball to right field, not very deep. Morse coming on and puts it away. And now for the first time tonight, the Rangers are gone in 1-2-3 fashion. We have finished 6 in Arlington. Rangers 7, Mariners nothing on TXA 21. Nice crowd on hand here tonight. Still very comfortable temperatures. Right at 60 degrees here. And a windless night at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. Perfect Friday night for April baseball. Kid is all rangered up. Look at that. That's great. You can tell that's a budding Yu Darvish fan right there. And Yu is back to the hill to start this 7th inning. He'll face Justin Smoke, Raul Ibanez, and Kelly Shopping. First pitch to Smoke, off speed, and it's waved at and missed. Smoke, the last Mariner to reach base against Yu Darvish. That was with a walk leading off the 4th inning.
Yu threw about 40 pitches in the first 2 innings. Really settled down as far as the pitch count goes since then.
He's had 1 inning that was a little bit high. The 5th inning he threw 24, but other than that he's had a 10 spot, 14, and 11. There you go. There's the
biggest inning after
count.
The first is 14 at 42 in the first 2 innings.
The 0-2 just outside. .93 and about what you'd expect. 45% fastballs. It's be interesting to see how Yu Darvish analyzes his performance here tonight. Whether he was any happier with his fastball command. There's another chopper foul. Mike Brumley, the first base coach, will knock that down.
You got to be happy with the results because he came into the game 2-3.
Sure. With
an ERA over 6 against Seattle. Yep. So, he'll probably, be critical of maybe some portion of the game. But overall, when you give up a couple of hits and so far no runs against a team that's giving you some problems, you got to be pretty happy with it.
Smoke just able to check his swing on that big breaker.
Now, one of the things that's happened for his pitch count is he hasn't struck out many batters, only 2 since the 2nd inning. But there's only been 1 hit since the 2nd inning too.
The 2-2 pitch. That's outside. The count has gone full. So Smoke, very much like his last at bat, has run the count to 3-2, leading off the inning. Raul Ibanez waiting in that on-deck circle. Payoff pitch. Chopper up the middle. A flip to Elvis. Ian was going to flip it to Elvis, and Elvis wasn't aware he was going to do that because Kinsler couldn't stop to make the throw. Then here, I'll flip it to you, Elvis. You make the throw.
That's the 2nd time this year he's tried that, but kind of a desperation attempt. Not going to be able to make it one way and probably not the other either. A little chopper up the middle.
Yeah, Elvis realized that a little too late. You saw him hesitate and then start toward the end. Then it was too late by the time he put on the brakes to make the catch.
Ian must have been off balance and felt it himself. From this angle, it looked like the kind of play we've seen him make before.
Yeah.
But he's the one that knew how he felt when he fielded the ball, and maybe he just felt he didn't have his feet in position to make that throw. But as strong as his arm is, and as much agility that he has on that kind of a play, we've seen him make that play before.
Ibanez chops the pitch foul, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Ibanez grounded into a double play last time up. He had a nice room service 2-hopper out to Elvis, who stepped on the bag and completed the double play with the throw. Robbie Ross starting to loosen in the Ranger bullpen. A rip and a miss. It's 1-2. Well, Smoke's leadoff infield single, just the 3rd hit of the night against Darvish.
Well, coming into the game, opponents were hitting 149 against him. That was the 4th best in the league. Probably still right around there. Came into the league tied for 3rd with 28 strikeouts. He's had 8 today. A.J. Brzezinski really should just take off his glove and put both hands down because he's
Trying to give 16 different signs with just one set of 5 fingers, and it doesn't work too well. Finally, he's got frustrated and said, timeout. I'm going to go out and talk to him, see what he wants to do. See, it was as simple as that. He just wanted the fastball. The 1-2. And he got him swinging, and AJ couldn't hang on to it. But with the runner at first, Ibanez not going anywhere. Then it's strikeout number 9 for Yu Darvish. 1 away for Kelly Shopping.
That was a good sinking fastball, probably his 2-seam fastball, 92 miles an hour. Pretty good pitch.
Shopping has walked and struck out. And he rips it a high fastball, and no success there. It's 0-1. Shopping now at .364 with the batting average. Tom told you, off to a very good start with the Mariners. Become an important man on this staff, not only as a player but also a kind of a coach on the field. A young pitching staff for the most part, trying to get them all together, headed in one direction, and mentoring Jesus Montero. Eric Wedge understanding the importance of having a guy like Kelly Shopping around. 0-2 to Shopping. Smoke not being held closely at first. Jeff Baker, the first baseman, playing a step or two behind him. Just able to get a piece of it. Shopping stays alive at 0-2. Shopping originally came up with Boston back in 2005. Spent 4 years with Cleveland and a couple of years with Tampa Bay. Again, the 0-2. Check swing. Did he go around? No, he did not. Eric Cooper, the first base umpire, making the judgment on that play. Darvish gets the signing once from Pierzynski. And misses high and away. So the count is even at 2-2. Ranger defense maybe a step to the left for the right-handed hitting Shopping. Kinsler and Andrews up a step or so at double play depth. Darvish ready to work. Call strike 3.
Oh, pretty good pitch.
That is strikeout number 10, and it's out number 2 here in the 7th. Well, in this inning, this is how it started. Justin Smoak grounding one up the middle. And last Friday, Ian Kinsler making almost an identical play, but he was able to throw that one. And Tom, I think what you said about his feet under him, probably the biggest determinant in that deal.
Yeah, I think the only reason he didn't try to make that play is because he didn't feel like he could get in position to throw. Didn't look that way from here, but he must have felt that way, because just like we just showed on that great replay, he has made that same play plenty of times.
Yep. Dustin Ackley, that pitch gets away momentarily from Pierzynski, but AJ able to jump on it. 2 balls, no strikes to count. Ackley struck out of the 2nd. Out on a nice play by Elvis Andrus in the 5th inning. The line for Yu Darvish, 10 more strikeouts tonight. As we showed you earlier, he is the league leader as we speak in strikeouts. Out of play to the left. His 10th. This is Darvish's 10th 10 strikeout game as a Ranger in just over a year and 4 starts. Of course, he's a little bit behind Nolan Ryan. Nolan had 34 in a Ranger uniform. Bobby Witt 24. Colby Lewis is now tied with Yu Darvish with 10 plus strikeout games. Sky to left, that is slicing toward the line. David Murphy straddling the line and just in foul territory makes the catch. Side retired. One left on the leadoff single. Stretch time in Arlington. 7-0 Rangers. And please join us now. Join Chuck Morgan. And God bless America. The Rangers leading 7-0. They have out-hit the Mariners 10-3, and A.J. Pierzynski starting things off. Be followed by Jeff Baker and David Murphy. Noesi deals in a pop-up shallow left field. Going out Andino, and the shortstop reaches up to make the grab. That is out number 1. Well, fans, MLB.TV, I should say, is celebrating 11 years. Join the millions of fans and subscribe today. You can watch every out-of-market game live online on your favorite mobile and connected devices in HD quality with MLB.TV Premium. Visit MLB.TV today. MLB.TV. It's baseball everywhere. And Jeff Baker takes a strike. It is 0-1. Baker, a solo home run got the Rangers on the board for the first time tonight in the second inning. Also flied out and walked. Scored a run as he walked in that fifth inning. Apparently the Rangers didn't remind Joe Saunders it was the regular season until that fifth inning. He had gotten to him pretty well in this ballpark during the regular season. Postseason, a different story, but Saunders very good through 4 innings, and the Rangers got to him in the fifth. 2-1 the count to Baker. And that will even the count. Baker getting the start at first base tonight against the left-hander Joe Saunders. Drives this one to right field. That sends Morse back. He will stop just in front of the warning track and put it away for out number 2. Well, Jeff Baker showing you some pretty good power going the other way tonight. Hit that home run into the bullpen in right center field.
You can tell Jeff's not a rookie at the plate. He knows what he's doing up there. Saw that in spring training, but carried over into the season as well. Valuable guy to have. Step in there, not just against lefties. He can hit righties too, but throughout his career he's been very good against lefties.
Well, David Murphy a rip and a miss against Noesi. Murph 2 for 3 with an RBI tonight. He's singled and doubled. He got his RBI on a ground out. Inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. And a line drive to left field. That's going to send Ibanez back, but he's able to get back in time to haul it in, and that will do it. So the Rangers down in order, and Noesi now has retired 7 straight. We finished 7 in Arlington. The Rangers 7, the Mariners nothing on TXA 21. It was 3 moments in 1 inning. 5th inning, A.J. Pierzynski, the big blast on a little blooping 2-run single, and then Craig Gentry, a triple as it was hit so hard it knocked Ibanez down. And then Ian Kinsler finished off the damage with the RBI double. That made it a 6-run inning. Get a great deal during the really big spring event. Now it's your Honda dealer.
Yeah, Robbie Ross coming on for the Rangers. Off to another good start in April. Pitched 5 2/3, hasn't given up but a 1.59 ERA. 1 run.
Robert Andino starting things off. Mitch Moreland is coming to the ball game to take over at first base. So Jeff Baker's night is finished. And a pitch by Ross catches the inside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Andino 0 for 2 tonight. He struck out both times against Yu Darvish and serves one into right field. It's a base hit leading off the 8th inning. Just the 4th hit of the night as Robert Andino gets the leadoff single. And that will take the Mariners back to the top of the order for Endy Chavez. Chavez 0 for 3. Closest he came to a base hit was a bunt that he put down that Yu Darvish made a great play on back in the 3rd inning. Robbie Ross spins him around with an inside fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. Ross sets. Back to the plate. Hits the inside corner. It is 1-1. Ross is always working quickly. Takes very little time in between pitches. And he fires a strike at the knees inside corner. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Chavez. Moreland playing a step or so behind Andino at first. 1-2 pitch. Yeah, that is fought off foul. That is the proper term for that, fought off. Is
yeah,
it
he
not?
fought that off.
Okay.
Probably not a strike, but he wasn't taking any chances. Still got a little bit. You got a little bit left, big guy. Glad you're okay. That's the big thing.
Looping fly ball down the left field line. David Murphy in pursuit, runs the ball girl out of the way, and then can't make the catch.
He might have gotten tangled up with the guard down there. They're trying to get out of the way, doing the best they can.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're going the same direction David was going in. That's a tough one for them. Watch them. They're going to try to pick up and get out of the way. Unfortunately, he's running right in the way of David.
Yeah, just in the last second, I think Murph caught him out of the corner of his eye. Swing and a miss, and
no damage done.
Boy, Robbie pulling the string on that breaking ball, gets the strikeout, 1 away.
Yeah, you don't always see the big leaguer judge exactly where the fly ball is going. It's pretty tough for the guy sitting down the line, the security guard and the ball girl. They do a great job down there. That was one of those tough ones to know which way to go.
A 1 away for Kyle Seager. Seager 1 for 3. Ground ball just foul. Mitch Moreland in a nice snag over there, and he'll make a new friend in the 2nd row. Toss that ball in there. The young man's going to have something for show and tell here on Monday.
I'll say. Not the only one he's got by the looks of it. Oh, he's got a couple of them. He shared one of them. That's pretty nice. Little girl said thank you. He said, don't thank me. My dad made me do it.
Wasn't my idea. Seager a rip and a miss, and it's 0-2.
Very nice. Very nice. Good lesson to teach your little boy. And look how happy she is.
Yeah. There you go. All right. High fives all around. Ooh. That just missed the inside corner. I think A.J. Brzezinski thought he might have had that one.
Yeah, it came close. Didn't quite get there, though.
A ball and 2 strikes as Ross comes set. Popped up. Foul territory, 3rd base side. Over to take a look is Brzezinski, and Beltre. And a wandering by, but that's back about 6 rows And the count remains 1-2. A little over 36,000 on hand here tonight. 36,273. They've seen the Rangers breaking loose for some runs here tonight. This ties the highest output of any game for the Rangers this year. 7 runs. And the 6 runs in the 5th inning is the biggest output for an inning. And Robbie Ross gets his 2nd straight strikeout, sending down Kyle Seager.
Boy, same pitch, too. Good, hard breaking ball down and away. Very, very difficult pitch to a left-hand hitter. Chavez and Seager both couldn't lay off that tempting pitch. You see it's kind of even with his bat right there, but then it just keeps on breaking away from him and goes out of the strike zone. Very difficult with 2 strikes to lay off it, though.
Here's Kendrys Morales. Well, he got jammed with that Robbie Ross fastball. It's 0-1 on the foul ball.
Well, Robbie's pumping in some quality strikes. 15 pitches, 12 strikes.
Morales is 2 out of 3 in his career against Robbie Ross. So Robbie trying to get things evened up a little bit. That pitch hit him, and he's not going to have a chance to even it up now, as Morales will take first.
He's trying to get the cutter in, which he did on the first pitch that jammed him. That one just held on to it a little too long and got it too far in. Just nicked him.
Well, the hit batter will send Morales to first. Down to second goes Andino. Here's another look at it.
Hit the uniform. Tucked in loosely around the waist.
That'll bring up Michael Morse. Power hitting outfielder for the Seattle Mariners. Morse 0 for 2 officially tonight. Pair of ground balls to third. He's also walked. 2 on with 2 out. Ball 1 is high. See the season figures. Morse got off to a torrid start with 6 home runs early. Up the middle, but right there is Kinsler. It goes off his right leg and shoots into short right field. Jeff Datz, the third base coach, had held Andino at third. He assumed that Kinsler was going to make that play, and by the time he realized that the ball had carried him into shallow right field, it was too late to get Andino going.
Yeah, tough call for a third base coach. He might boot it, but you can't tell exactly how far it's going to roll away. And so you're down by 7 runs. If you make the call to send him and it bounces right near Ian and he picks it up and throws you out at the plate, you know, then you've got a bad way to end the inning. So he's not taking any chances in this stage of the game with the bases loaded, and you know, you've got a guy that can hit the ball out of the ballpark coming up. That's probably the right call. It turned out he probably could have scored, though.
Right. Well, you know, but the point is, it's 7-0. You can't really afford to take a chance. You need more than that run.
Right. You can't take a chance.
No, bases are full. That did go down as an error, by the way, to Ian Kinsler. Smoke is 1 for 2 officially tonight. He's singled and walked. He's also struck out. Up there with the bases full. And Ross misses off the plate outside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Smoke is 1 for 4 against Robbie Ross. A limited number of times these two have matched up. Fastball up and in, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Andino at third, Morales at second, Morse at first. Ross trying to get the final out of this 8th inning. That's out of play to the right, and the count is even at 2-2. The 36,000 plus start to clap in support of Robbie Ross and the Rangers. 2 out, a 2-2 count. Weston Smoke at the plate with the bases full. Pitch on the way, got him swinging. Robbie Ross ends up striking out the side. Mariners get a hit. They had an error and a hit batter. They leave the bases full. 7-0 Rangers as we go to the bottom of the 8th on TXA 21. Thus far, and Rangers coming to bat here in the 8th. Craig Gentry will start things off. Robbie Ross able to work around a single, a hit batter, and an error. Kept the Mariners off the scoreboard by striking out the side. First pitch to Gentry is low and outside for ball 1. Craig doubled and tripled tonight. Drove into his first 2 RBI of the season. 2 for 3. Noesi fires a strike at the knees to even the count. Right-hander back to the plate. 2-1 now. Noesi's retired the last 7 Rangers that he's faced. He came on in the 5th inning. You see Michael Kirkman getting loose. The Ranger bullpen. Noesi gave up a double to the first man he faced, and that was Ian Kinsler. Since then, he's retired every Ranger that's come to bat, and he has the count and now at 2-2 to Craig Gentry. Way outside, the count is full. Gentry trying to get aboard to lead off the Ranger 8th inning. He'll be followed by the top of the order, Ian Kinsler. Wave and a miss. Lacey taking something off that. And that is out number 1. The Bucks, the Rangers box score is brought to you by Reliant. Bring the energy. It has been a lot of energy this evening for the Rangers. The only over up there that somebody who started is for Elvis Andrus, and he might have hit the ball hard as anybody that has a base hit.
Yeah, if you add it all up, he probably did. Hit it on the good part of the bat 4 straight times.
And that up and down that order. Rangers have had things going on, and here's Ian Kinsler, who had a double his last time to the plate. Drove in the last Ranger run in that 5th inning.
I think the hardest hit ball was, there was probably close. There's several of them, but the one Nelly hit to left field right at Ibanez, the base hit, was hit as hard as any of them.
Yeah, it's good to see the club. You know, when you have to search your memory for the balls where see who's hit the hardest, that's a good thing. When you only have 2 or 3 balls were hit hard the whole night, it's fairly easy to remember. But
pretty easy.
1-1 pitch, and Ian pops this up on the right side. Andres Morales, the first baseman, makes the grab, and that is out number 2. Well, here's Elvis now with another opportunity. See if he can't turn around that voodoo that's following him around this game. His log shows 4 groundouts tonight, and they've all been scorched.
Yeah, one of them was a line drive. Turned into a 6-3.
Yeah, that was the last time up that he almost knocked Andino to the ground at shortstop. It was hit so hard.
Andino's gone to his left, gone to his right on hard hit ground ball. He's had a smash hit at him that he couldn't handle. Then he hit one right back at Saunders that Saunders made a nice play on.
1-1 pitch from Noesi. Another one. Well, that still qualifies. Hit it back of the pitcher that hard, but that's the softest one he's hit all night. And Elvis has an 0 for 5 going, but he's going to shake his head. Rangers gone in order. Bottom of the ninth, or top of the ninth coming up. Rangers leading 7-0 on TXA 21. Hey fans, this Sunday the Rangers take on the Mariners. It's a 2:05 start, and the first 10,000 kids 13 and under will receive an Adrian Beltre t-shirt. That's compliments of tickets.com. Plus, it's Bluebell Ice Cream Sunday, so all kids can enjoy $1 ice cream at the game. For tickets, call 972-RANGERS. Well, Michael Kirkman is the new pitcher for the Rangers, and Raul Ibanez has been replaced by the pinch hitter, Jason Bay. Kirkman comes on to become the 3rd pitcher used tonight by the Rangers. Taking over for Robbie Ross, who worked a scoreless 8th inning. Kirkman drops that slow breaking ball in there to get ahead in the count, 0-2. Bay at 194, as you can see, a home run, 2 driven in. Kirkman back to the plate. Tried the hook again and couldn't quite get it over there. '26-year-old left-hander Michael Kirkman back to the plate, and that just missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 is ripped to center field, a base hit. But Jason Bay now is 1 for 3 in his career against Michael Kirkman with that leadoff single as a pinch hitter here in the 9th inning. And that'll bring up Kelly Shopping. 5 hits now for Seattle in this ball game. Darvish went the first 7, gave up 3 of the hits, had 3 walks and 10 strikeouts. Shutout baseball for Yu Darvish. Robbie Ross had a shutout inning, allowing a hit, and he struck out 3. And now Kirkman deals to Shopping, sends one high and deep to center field. Back is Gentry on the warning track and makes the catch. Back to first base goes Jason Bay, and boy, Kelly Shopping hit a moonshot.
Well, you mentioned earlier, Buzz, no wind tonight, so whatever you hit, you've got to earn it. He gets a pitch right down the middle of the plate, takes a good swing at it, might have gotten underneath it just a little bit, hits it just about 400 feet to dead center field. But with no help from the wind, that's as far as it would go.
Well, Bay back at first, and here's Brendan Ryan now, who will get an at bat tonight. He's been in a prolonged slump, and given the night off, apparently Eric Wedge is going to get him an at bat to get him ready for tomorrow. Chance to see some live pitching here tonight. Ryan 0 for his last 11 trips to the plate. He was just 2 for 25 on the just completed homestand for the Mariners. Kirkman to him, and the pitch foul to the right and out of play. One on, one out. We play in the top of the 9th inning. And Kirkman misses low and away to make it 2 balls and a strike. Left-hander comes set, a check at first. Could be a double play grounder. Beltre, Kinsler on to Moreland in time, and that'll do it. Around the horn, 5-4-3. And the Rangers close out the shutout of the Seattle Mariners. The final score tonight, Texas 7, Seattle nothing. A combined shutout, the 3rd of the year for the Rangers. Yu Darvish, 7 innings of work. Robbie Ross and Michael Kirkman, an inning each. So the Rangers still have not lost consecutive games this year. They and Atlanta are the only 2 teams that can say that. And the Mariners coming in here trying to win consecutive games for the first time since the first 2 days of the season are turned away. The Rangers get back on the winning side of things, and they now are 10-6 in play this year. The Mariners dropped to 7-11. So the Rangers 7 runs on 10 hits and 1 error. The Mariners no runs on 5 hits and 1 error. Yu Darvish gets the win. He goes to 3-1. Joe Saunders takes the loss. He drops to 1-2. Oh, a very well played game all around for the Rangers tonight, offensively and certainly pitching wise. Defense came through with some big plays also. So we will be right back to Rangers Ballpark to continue wrapping things up here tonight. Again, the Rangers 7 and the Mariners nothing. Right back on TXA 21.